To fáilte mór romh an seo ag an amach de Taighde teachim amach a rí Féile in Carraige. This research event is happening during a week-long of events of Féile in Carraige. Féile in Carraige is a festival that happens in Glórnamona every year at this time in October, and it has three core themes to its work. The ethos of the work is Partihis, which is participation, Politiacht, which is politics, and Pobl, which is community. These core themes are central to our everyday work and the projects that we do in here, but it's very specific to this one. In terms of participation, I want to thank each of you for participating in this important part of research. In relation to politics, for me this work has been political from the day that it became an idea in here. And the reason it's political is that we were campaigning and lobbying on behalf of the rights of the young people that are attending this service. So as you all know, there is no bespoke service for young people with additional learning needs that are attending College de Firsta and our local primary schools across Belfast. So the purpose of this research was to lobby and to provide services, further services. The project was first established in September 2019, and this is where the community element of the work comes in for us. For us here in Glórnamona, we know that developing any projects or services should not be done in isolation. We will always look to learn from our community, especially when it comes to growing and developing an Irish medium sector. I'm sure most of you have seen the amazing Unid down at College de Firsta and the Nyad, and Emer and Mary are here tonight and have been massive supporters of this project from the beginning, and we've learned so much from them. We are not only a youth and community organisation, we also rely heavily on our parents, volunteers, specialists within the fields and our young people to develop our projects. And this is exactly what's happened with this project. In terms of the purpose of the research, it was to highlight the specific needs of the young people, and it was to prove a need for this service, and this is exactly what it's done. I want to thank Cian and Kieran, who are our volunteers and were heavily involved in the research from the beginning, and also involved with our bid to the big lottery. This project is youth-led and will continue to be youth-led. I want to thank Orla for the amazing work that she's done in putting this research together. Orla has recently completed a PhD exploring special educational needs within the Irish sector. We will be hearing from Dr. Orla soon, when she officially launches our research into the public domain. We are also thrilled here in Glórnamona that now Orla is one of our team members. This is a massive win for not only Glórnamona but for the entire sector. So this brings me on to our announcement. I am delighted to tell you that this research, along with the year-long of work from our youth-led steering group and our steering group from stakeholders, has been successful. So what does this mean for youth? This means that the Big Lottery has given Sólás a letter of offer for over £400,000 to secure this service for the next 4 years. It means that your young people will have this informal service through the medium of Irish not 1 night a week, but 3 nights per week. This project will bring endless opportunities for the community here tonight, including generic youth work services, personal and social development programmes, training for parents, volunteers, the wider community, accredited training for our teenagers, and last but not least, further research and peer research with a view to presenting this to the Department of Health, the Department of Community and the Department for Education. This service and the services of its kind must continue to grow and develop and be mainstreamed after this 4 years. There should be opportunities for inclusion, so this shouldn't stay a bespoke service on its own. Our young people should be included into the mainstream youth services that we have across this city. They're entitled to it, and they're entitled to have the same informal learning opportunities that all other young people have. I lastly want to thank the team who are here that provide this service every week. Aisling, Leanne and Fanula are absolute diamonds, and the young people are so lucky to have them. I want to now welcome Andy from Learning Space, who has been a key advisor and stakeholder in setting up this project. When the journey began 2 years ago, it was a new area of work for Glórnamona. It has been enlightening and exciting for me and the team. Your young people have taught us so much, and we can't wait to learn, grow and develop further with them. and I have no doubt that Andy will help us for many years to come. So Féile in Carraige, onwards and upwards, ar scaithe céile. So Andy.
Well, I'm going to keep it very short and sweet, as I know we're sort of getting through everything here. But do you know what? Excitement, excitement, excitement is what I have to say. This is fantastic. A journey and a half that you really have been on here. And for the excitement comes to the fact that standing here as an individual who has a diagnosis of autism, to know that the next 4 years for these young children with additional needs has been secured. It is fantastic news, absolutely brilliant for everybody that was involved. I played a small part in it. I'm here as a bit of an advisory around disability, around additional needs, but you know what, I'm super excited for every one of us that's here, and I'm even more excited for the kids that's going to benefit. The language around the Irish language, everything that's going to bring everything in the detail in this, and the benefits that these kids know that every week their social, their communication and their imagination has been looked after. That says a lot for everybody that's put every effort into this. So congratulations.
Hello everybody. So Sakéad dul séis buailim mhuithe Sólás ar fad as Féile Harnacht den Sólás seo agus den na poistí is na titmhóirí as a bheith páirteach in san Taighde seo chumhaid. So initially I want to extend my thanks to you all for being here tonight for the official launch of this research project, and to the parents and the young people for being so willing to take part in the research as well. So I have just recently submitted my PhD thesis on the 23rd of September at Queen's University Belfast, titled The Reproduction of Inequality in the Irish Medium Education Sector, which seeks to advocate on behalf of our young people being educated within the Irish medium sector, and to uncover the shortcomings in provision and resource, especially for those children with additional learning, emotional, social and behavioural needs. In my final year of study, I was kindly approached by Orlia to undertake the research study, despite being an extremely busy year of study, not to mention trying to complete my thesis in the middle of a global pandemic. But of course, I couldn't refuse an opportunity to both expand my knowledge, but also looking at the informal side of Irish medium education, because it's a cause, of course, which is very close to my heart as well, being able to uncover it in my own research. So in my time of being a research student at Queen's University, my Director of Studies, Alison McKenzie, she always used to say to me that she'd never met anyone quite like myself for my ability to recruit research sample participants. You know, she always said to me, like, are you threatening people? Like, you know, what are you doing to get all these people in to talk? But my response was that my ability to gather the troops for research projects is testimony to the Irish language community. We have around us who are always so willing to help divulge their testimonies, speak their truth, and assist in the progression and development of the sector, something which we have great experience with and will continue to do so in order to have our voices heard. So this brings me to the methodology of the research reports. I implemented a participatory research methodology which strives to include the voices, testimonies and truths of marginalised groups within society, not only in keeping with the Irish language community itself, but also for our service users with additional needs as well. So implementing our participatory research approach placed those participants who took part in the study as the true experts within the field. And this was sort of a huge finding from my master's thesis before I took on the PhD. All too often it was the academics, the powers that be, who were divulging what they thought needed to happen. And that was something that was really important to me before I took on the role of the PhD. I just wanted to get the testimony from you guys, from the service users, from the people on the ground, and take that to the powers that be. So I've implemented a participatory research approach which placed the participants who took part in the study as true experts within the field, granting autonomy to their lived-in day-to-day experience of their time spent in Glór na Móna services. A total of 4 focus groups discussions took place with both parents and young people, and several semi-structured interviews with key Irish medium and educational stakeholders. The Irish Medium Youth Work Services here at Glornamona have shown to have an extremely profound impact on the lives of children with additional needs within our sector. This provision of services at Sólás and Óg creates a safe space for young people to socialise and form connections, which is further enhanced by both the usage and promotion of the Irish language, and also the unique team of staff who received impeccable praise from both service users and parents during the course of the data collection. Some other key points arising from the data collection portion involve parents making recommendations to further enhance provision. This was including the provision of a physical activity programme after many long lockdown periods as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic, but also an exploration of the potential to provide sexual health and educational seminars for the senior cohorts of service users in order to create a more holistic approach to informal education in the sector. Prominent findings from the research are presented by means of a word cloud and a summing up section towards the end of the report, which also acknowledges the limitations of the study and recommendations for further research. Limitations of the study as well, going through a global pandemic in the height of it as well. It was pretty limited within itself, but I think the report gives a really comprehensive view of where we were at and where we need to go within the future. So in closing, we here at Glor acknowledge that this report but scratches the surface of a wider need to explore, identify gaps in provision and address provision deficit with adequate facilities and resources both in the Irish medium sector and the Irish medium youth work sector as well. I am absolutely thrilled to declare that this research report has been launched, and I take this as my first step in advocating on behalf of the sector on my own personal research journey. Gymara Mishar Cam Ella August and Kiad Funcha Winyahe Ella Kumai Garmaigas.